Aquí estamos, Sucio Talk. Where are my people at out there? What's up, guys? How you doing? Signing on. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We out here. We going live. I'm currently going on Instagram live. That way, even though, guys, you know, you're not really going to hear the audio that well. But that's okay. Okay? That's okay out here. Sucio Talk Podcast. I hope the audio's okay. If it's not, we'll deal with that. But it's okay. I keep saying it's okay. 510-463-1145. Call in. The show, the podcast out here in Oakland. Doing it for all the cooks and the chefs out there. Front of the house as well, right? There's no division here. Having a good time, going live every Monday at 10 p.m. Chilling at the studio. Crazy week. This week we got World's 50 Best. World's 50 Best comes out tomorrow. All right, so all the respective teams are over there. I'm sure you've seen them on Instagram chilling out, having a good time. So I was going to do the live stream tomorrow. That's up in the air. Got some engagements. As you guys know, I'm opening up a spot. I keep that very vague, but that is in the works. All right. Netflix Bites. I don't know if you guys heard of this, but Netflix is starting a restaurant. I just saw the article that they put out. Insider. It was an Insider article. It says Netflix is opening a new pop-up restaurant in LA, but all anyone really wanted from the company right now was to keep sharing passwords. And I don't know about you guys, but I lost my access to Netflix. All right, I've been using my mom's Netflix for years. All right, years and years and years of using her Netflix has now come to an end. But now they're opening up a restaurant, so I think I get why they done this. They need to raise the funds to be able to get their restaurant going. Hold up. Hey, there we go. The camera was all fucked up, guys. I'm sorry. Didn't even realize. One day, I will get a producer, and then this won't be a problem. All right? So we're talking about Netflix. They opened up a new pop-up restaurant in LA. All right? But before we go into this, I just want to say, I'm not into the business of taking anything I said back. Okay? I'm never maliciously coming at anybody. All right? So if anybody out there has ever been offended by anything that I said, 510-463-1145. We could talk about it. Other than that, go fuck yourself. All right? I'll move on from it. We'll learn from it. Apologize if you need to, obviously, because you don't want to hurt people. And if people express that they're hurt, you should always apologize. But sometimes, you know, you can't apologize in the way that person wants you to. So at that point, you just got to move on, cut your losses. It's all good. There's 8 Billy in the world, right? You only need 1 Billy. It's all good. I love everyone. I'm not here to spread hate. So just know that Sucio Talk is always trying to be a positive source for you. I dropped 2 episodes today. Okay. We got Adam Gordon of... I'm going to take this off. We got Adam Gordon of Knights Valley Wagyu. He was nice. He had me come up to a spot up there in Sonoma. We chilled out. We checked out his ranch, checked out his cows. I mean, they're beautiful. They didn't get startled when you walked up to them. They were chilling. So you could tell that they were peaceful animals. They're not scared of humans, things like that. Sometimes when you go up to cows on the side of the road or some shit, they kind of tend to run away from you or not pay any attention to you. That's probably because they're just used to being kind of manhandled and roughhoused in their lives. Okay? So shout out to him. Good conversation. If you guys listen to that podcast, just know that the audio was a little fucked up, okay, on my part, my camera. So basically what I did was I edited it very carefully, took out all my parts and just have his parts in there. But just the thought process is very cohesive, so I don't think that you miss that I'm not there at all. It's a good conversation, but for this one, it's sort of a good him talking about the ranch. I did ask him the questions, right? So I'm like kind of pushing him towards answering those questions, but I took out my part of the audio. So there you go. Past that, we got Chef Manish Tiagi out here from Autumn and Los Altos, AURUM. That podcast is out right now, suciotalk.com. Check it out. You can check it out on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast. Apple Podcast is back. Wasn't there for a while, but now it's back. So check it out. All right. Also, Andrew Chang, I had him on the show. I erased the fucking show. That literally just happened before I logged on here. So I'm sorry, Andrew Chang. The fourth time that you were on the show there's no record of it anymore. So we need to shoot another one. Shout out to him on all his traveling and eating. Okay. Podcast before that, I had Chef Swoop on, Chef Mike Woods. If you haven't been following along, we got Square Pie guys out here. We got Chef Ronnie Miranda. We got Harold Villarosa. He was on as well. Chef Salasi Dotsi. Chad the Filipino documentary filmmaker. Chef Anthony Paon of Bull Valley Roadhouse. These are just recent episodes. Aaron Hupp Ceramics. Chef Into On. What's up? She's in the chat right now. Chef Into of Joe's Modern Thai. J.O.'s Modern Thai in Oakland. All right. It's been a while since I've been there. Shout out to you, Chef. So yeah, Chef Anthony Paon. We got Aaron Hupp Ceramics. Chef Into. We got Miguel Aguilera, sous chef at Yangban. That was a good one. And then a bunch of lives. All right, so check out the show at suciotalk.com. You can check it out on Anchor. Anchor just does audio, as does Apple Podcasts. All right, the idea is to blow this podcast up, as you all know. Talk to world famous chefs out here and make community, bring people together, right, of all walks of life. That's what we're looking to do. So those are the episodes that are coming out. I had Andrew Chang coming out. I had Chef Tyler Gore of Bear Napa, who also worked at in Chicago at the Loyalist, Smith and the Loyalist. He was the CDC of Smith. Badass chef. He was on the show as well. So you can check him out soon. It's going to be, I think, this coming week's drop. Something's happening with the audio. I think the microphones or something like that. But I'm not hearing very well. And then on the other side of it, when you listen to the show, you can't really hear it that much. So my bad. But I'll fix it. I'll try to put it out as best I can. If not, I'll just cut out the parts that you can't hear. And you know, Sucio Talk is forever, so we're going to be doing this show as much as we possibly can. Talk to everyone we possibly can. Make sure that we make the connections that we're supposed to make out here in this world. So back to Netflix. They kicked me off of Netflix. Mom, I see you're in the chat. They kicked me off your Netflix. They're not taking no for an answer. These people are going crazy. So they've done this. Hold on, I'm going to open this up here. Netflix is opening a new pop-up restaurant in LA, but all anyone really wanted from the company right now was to keep sharing passwords, as we all did, okay? On Wednesday, Netflix announced it will be opening Netflix Bites in LA. Pop-up restaurant will spotlight acclaimed chefs from popular Netflix series. Twitter is cooking up a storm with memes endlessly dunking on the announcement. So Twitter is just having a field day as always. So Netflix is opening up a restaurant. That's probably why they've canceled the household sharing of the passwords, so they can make a little bit more money, so they can invest in this restaurant. Restaurants, as we all know, are very fucking expensive, especially these days. So the restaurant will feature dishes from award-winning chefs from popular Netflix series. Since the announcement, the internet has jumped at the opportunity to dunk. That's the same shit they just wrote. Oh, wow. Sadly, you can't share a table there. There you go. There you go. That's a tweet that got 14,000 likes. Isn't that crazy what gets a lot of likes and what doesn't? Sometimes I put these videos up and I get like over 1,000 views. And I'm like, who? Am I drinking out of a deli cup? You damn right, Chef Dave Witt. This is what we do out here. There's many ways to drink out of this cup. You can grab it this way. I personally like to put my finger in it like that. You know what I mean? You got to stay hydrated out here. I'm talking a lot. That's Chef Dave Witt out of Florida. Go to sleep, David. It's late. Tyler Gore in the house. I was just talking to him. He's on the Instagram Live. Tyler Gore, Charlie Apple. We got my mom in there. Crazy. They cancel your meal after the appetizer. That's probably what's going to happen at the Netflix restaurant that they're opening. All right. So I just wonder what kind. Here we go. Chefs at the pop-up restaurant will include Curtis Stone, Dominique Crenn from Iron Chef, Quest for an Iron Legend, Rodney Scott from Chef's Table Barbecue. Bringing my love of people across the world is one of the biggest thrills of my life, but this screen to table, there we go. That's what it's called. Screen to table. It's 1:10 a.m. over there, and you're listening to Sucio Talk in Florida. Shout out to you, Chef Dave. Chef Dave, meet Chef Tyler Gore, all right, of Napa. All right, different time zones, same job, same drive home right now. You guys probably just had a beer, you know, getting home, turning on the lights. That's right, Tyler. He's out here. That Sucio Talk is global, bro. There's people in Saudi Arabia listen to this show. Sometimes I marvel at the people that listen to this show. I just, sometimes I go and I look at it, because look at this. Look at this. I'm going to put it on the screen here if you're following on Netflix. United States, 90% of the people that listen to this, which I probably say is probably 100 people all day. You got to roast yourself a little bit. 90,000 or 90% in the United States, 2% in Australia, 1% New Zealand, 1% Singapore, and then past that it's like more than 1%. Taiwan, Panama, Denmark, Spain, Germany, Japan, Philippines, United Kingdom, Ireland, France, India, Puerto Rico, South Korea, Malaysia, Sweden, Peru, Greece, Netherlands, Colombia, Hong Kong, Italy, Ecuador, Switzerland, Iceland, Saudi Arabia, Bulgaria, Costa Rica, South Africa, Chile, Jamaica, Thailand, Finland. All the places that listen to Sucio Talk. And it might just be 2 cooks. It might just be 1 kitchen. But it will be all the kitchens at a certain point. I know that there's kitchens that listen to this while they prep. Shout out to you. I'll try to keep the... That's right. It did break down. Chef Dave Witt is very upset that I didn't come to Florida on my road trip. But thank you for remembering the road trip, because let me tell you what, people forget. All right? Let me tell you something about this road trip. 14,000 miles, okay? 50 days, 70 restaurants. That's how many places I ate at. 30 podcasts, son. All in a span of 50 days. It was crazy. The first night I left Wyoming, there was a huge snowstorm. And so I'm in the Camaro, and I'm like, I just got new, shout out to Chef Adam Stacy, who just joined in. I got new tires, My mom was there for that. I got new tires, new brakes, new rotors. I decked the car out with new wheels, right? And I'm about to leave this ranch. I'm about to go to Denver to visit Miles. Miles, I'm forgetting your last name right now. That's okay. He lives in Colorado in Denver. And so last time I saw him was at Food and Wine Festival. So I'm going down this road and then it starts snowing. And I'm talking about it's dumping. It's like the biggest snowstorm, the first snowstorm of the season up in the mountains of Wyoming and Montana and Colorado and all that. So I'm driving and all of a sudden I'm in a blizzard. And so if basically I said to myself, if I stop this car right now, I'm going to get snowed in. So I can't stop. And I just kept driving. I couldn't see anything in front of me. I was driving like 10 miles an hour at a certain point. And I made it past the storm about like 4 hours later. It was like 4 hours, windows down, music blasting, trucks driving by, spraying snow into my car. It was crazy. But I made it through. I made it to Denver. And then from Denver, this is about to become a Sucio Talk road tour recap right here. From Denver, I got there. I went and had dinner at Senor Bear, and then I did a podcast with Chef at Senor Bear right there that night. All right? Left there. Went to Miles. Smoked a joint. Got in the car. Drove 10 hours from Denver to Kansas City. All right? All night long. Left at midnight. Got there at 10 a.m. right in time for my interview with Michael Corvino. Shout out to Michael Corvino. So I roll there. I do the interview with him. I get a hotel room for the night. Take a nap. Go to his spot. Actually, before that, I had the barbecue there. I'm forgetting the spot. I think it's Franklin Barbecue. Don't slay me if it's the wrong one. All right. Then I go to dinner at his spot, Corvino's in Kansas City. It was fucking dope. All right. There's a stage. There's people playing piano. Real swanky like. Good bar, good food. He also has a fine dining sector, a little dining room that's off of the main dining room, so it's kind of more quiet in there, quaint, if you will. And then he also has a PDR, so lots of space in that restaurant. If you ever want to do a fucking sick-ass wedding, I suggest you do it there. It's dope. Dope little town, too, little downtown area. On the come up, a lot of chefs out there, moving out there, opening restaurants. And then from there, I went to St. Louis. St. Louis, I interviewed Nab Chef, Justin, and it was a good interview. And we did it on top of the restaurant he worked at in a little PDR dining room. Past that, left St. Louis, went to Nashville, where I basically chilled for a few days. I didn't have any podcasts in Nashville except for Trevor Perkins. Which shout out Trevor Perkins. He let me stay at his house. So he's always a sweetheart, always inviting me to stay at his house and his lovely lady. And we went to dinner at Locust. And I also had dinner at Catbird Sea, which is a dope concept. If there's anybody out there who's listening, you could do these residency or these ghost kitchens. You could do that shit. But giving somebody a multi-year residency really grows a chef. You can really get some good knowledge doing that for 2 years on someone else's dime, right? You're not in all this debt. And then you get people coming to you that maybe want to invest in you from that, right? And that's what pop-ups are. But pop-ups, man, I'll tell you right now, that's the hard way, okay? Anybody who's doing pop-ups out there, shout out to you. That is difficult. It's like catering with no infrastructure. You constantly have shit in your fridge. There's no storage. You're bringing shit up and down the stairs from your apartment. I mean, it's endless. So, again, all those chefs out there who are doing pop-ups and getting their investors the hard way, shout out to you, okay? Because that is very difficult to be doing. Shout out to Chef James Pasafaro. He's in the house. Used to be Spoon and Stable, CDC, Badass Extraordinaire, now rocking with the OpsIO. What's up, OpsIO? If you guys notice, you see the little truffle shuffle up there on the screen. Those of you watching on YouTube, I'll go ahead and take the website down. Boom. Truffle shuffle up there. Official sponsors. All right. I got sponsors for the show. OpsIO, we're working on that sponsorship. But I can't wait to, have you guys be a part of the growth of the show, take it to the new levels that it needs to go, and really to make our own community of misfits. Think of it as like the Jackass of food, right? It's like, who the fuck let these guys in here? But if we all see the growth that all those dudes from Jackass have had, right? We were all in the same boat when they were doing that shit in the 90s. We were like, these dudes are going to kill themselves. This is not going to end, right? They're not going to get a career out of this. What are they doing now? Multi-millionaires, son. Okay? It's doable. All right? You just got to believe. I believe in Sucio Talk. I believe in this show. I believe in you guys as the listeners. The fact that you guys are still here after all this time. It's about to be 3 years this November that I've been doing this show. 140 episodes. This is the 140th episode. Remember, you can find the older episodes on YouTube, youtube.com/SucioTalk, SucioTalk, Sucio Talk. It means dirty. That's right. Okay. So Netflix bites, huh? Netflix is opening up a restaurant, can't pay their writers. Although I'll say this again for these writers over here that are on writers' strikes, okay? Amazon workers going on strike and forming a union, I like that. I'm all for that. Those are factory workers. They don't get paid shit. They need the help. All these fucking writers in Hollywood who just want to hang out, work 30 hours a week and make bank and not do shit and go on vacation all the time, I'm sorry, that's not the way it works. Is there inequities in the way that Hollywood pays people? Why do these actors make so much money? But at the end of the day, it's like me as a chef, if I make a recipe at a restaurant, they're not going to pay me a percentage of every fucking dish that they sell that was made with my recipes. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous, and that place would go out of business. All right, so the way I look at it is, if you want money, write more. Write a book or something like that, all right? You guys go to these corporations and you're like, give me work-life balance, and then when they're like, yo, we can't afford that, you guys are like, wah. Well, you know what? Stephen King, all right? Look at him. Stephen King needed some money. You know what he did? He wrote a book. And after that, after his cigarette money ran out again, he wrote another book. I'll tell you what, his tobacco addiction kept those books going because cigarettes are fucking expensive, even back in the day, So I got a little riled up there about those writers, but you know what I mean. It's like there's a work-life balance shit. I get it, guys. I get it. We all need time off. We all need to relax and have time with our families. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, okay? What I am saying is that we cannot overcorrect it and get lazy because we think that 40-hour mark is what is the right thing to do. I don't know who came up with 40 hours, but let me tell you this. You're not going to get to be really good at anything only doing it 40 hours a week, right? All those people that you watch on TV, all those chefs, right? It seems like a lot of the chefs are famous, but that's only because, like, we live in this small world of chefs, and that's all we care about. That's all we look at, right? But to, like, the regular construction worker, they don't know who the fuck Michelle Bra is. Like, they don't give a fuck, Why should they? We care, right? But you can't make people care about the stuff you care about. I think that's something that me and actually Ronnie the cook talked about last time. in kitchens, you kind of have to drink the Kool-Aid in order to get the most out of the situation, but sometimes some of that Kool-Aid, it's not mixed in all the way. There's a little sandiness at the bottom of the fucking cup. And it's just, you have to deal with it. You got to take the good with the bad. And that's what I've come to the conclusion of. It's like, it's not all good. Good comes with bad, always, no matter what. There's a trade-off. It's like life's rule, right? If you want to be a great chef, you have to put the time in. If you want to be great at anything, you have to put the time in. You have to miss the birthdays. You got to miss the holidays. It's just facts. You're not going to get really good at a craft or something that you want to really be good at if you're only spending a little bit of time on it, right? You can work your 40 hours, but then there better be another 40 hours on top of that you're learning your craft, whether it's reading fucking cookbooks or watching cooking shows even, or just nerding out on cooks and chefs and farms and all the stuff we nerd out about. It's important. If you're not doing that shit, you got to ask yourself, why? Do I really truly love this? And I don't think that you're a chef, right? Unless you have to answer that fucking question time and time again, and it's the same answer. It's yes, I'm doing the right thing. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. And chefs are the only people out there, man, I'm telling you, like, you lose on every single night you lose. Every single night there's one fucking person that doesn't like something at the restaurant. It just is. It just exists. But you can't let yourself be drawn down on these things. Negative reviews, right? Because it can let you get in your head. It makes you blame others, right? This cook didn't cook that right. He didn't. It's all your fault at the end of the day as a chef, right? And as a chef, you kind of have to have your family in order, or at least your friends in order, because it's a very lonely world, right? You can't be friends with your cooks. Those are your cooks. Like, you are their mentor, right? In some cases. Nowadays, you can work in a kitchen and not have a mentor, which I think is fucking weird. Like, it used to be that you went to kitchens to get mentors. Like, people were into mentoring. And I'm not saying that they're not into it now. I think people are just into it because they're told that this is what we do. Hey, a chef is a mentor. Okay, I guess I'll just mentor someone. It's very robotic, All this on some Netflix has a movie. I always wonder if my next door neighbors can hear me. Neighbors. Let me tell you something about Manish Tyagi. USA stands for You Start Again, and he is not wrong. You know how many dishwashers I've met that have degrees, that are professors, that are doctors, lawyers, back in Mexico, Guatemala, a lot of these places where they're coming from, and they get here to the States, and instead of the United States being like, all right, well, let's help this person because he obviously did a lot of studying, and we can actually add another member to a workforce that does a lot for the same. Basically, he'll be defending the same people that he came from. You know what I'm saying? And like, that helps us. And so now they're dishwashing. All their studies gone, everything just gone, and they don't have a choice. So I feel like sometimes out here we have a choice, and we make a choice to feel bad about ourselves. We make a choice to feel guilty and beat yourself up and say, I'm the worst and this and that. And honestly, man, that's some weak shit, bro. All right? Just know, if you're out there and you're driving in your car by yourself, a chef, you owe it to your cooks, to yourself, to treat yourself better and pick yourself the fuck up and go to sleep in a half decent manner, all right? Don't go to sleep angry with yourself. Don't go to bed angry. All right? Sucio Talk Live every Monday at 10. This might change because I'm opening up a restaurant. I know I said I'd be vague about that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm opening a restaurant called The Rustic. The Rustic in San Francisco in the Castro district. Beautiful neighborhood. Can't wait to open up. We're in the old Chow space. All right, it's I along with Zoti. Zoti is a sommelier. He's going to be our general manager, owner. I am chef partner in this restaurant. And it's my first time opening a restaurant from scratch, you know, with skin in the game. Like if the restaurant fails, I fail. And it's getting real. It's the realest that it's gotten. And so this is it. Put up or shut up, right? You talk about this shit all day on your podcast. The chef should be this. The chef should be that. Well, now you get your chance, David. What are you going to do with it? You're going to squander it? You're going to waste people's time? I don't think so. You're going to get out there. You're going to be the best chef you can be. You're going to treat your workers right. You're going to serve awesome food to everyone. Families, chefs, dads, moms, grandfather, grandma, fucking sons, uncles, daughters, tias, fucking mamas, baby mamas, sisters, everyone. And it's going to be a cool community, a cool place to come every day if you want to. And I can't wait to build that atmosphere in San Francisco. I feel like I can really do it. And so the rustic food will be, let's call it Cal-Italian fusion. That's what we're calling it right now. But it's a fucking Puerto Rican guy making pizza, you know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a loss of ego. There's going to be some form to this. And we're going to do right by our guests. We're going to make sure that we have a cool place to work at, a place where people are excited to be, a place that I don't get sick of being at, you know, a place that I can call mine. This is like every chef's dream, you understand? Like, I've told a few people, and I just don't think they fathom what this all is, you know. And we haven't created a buzz or anything, but you can follow it at the Rustic SF on Instagram, the Rustic SF. And so we were just on Eater. All right, small blurb at the bottom of Flour and Water Pizzeria. Here, I'll put it up on the screen for you. Flour and Water Pizzeria will make its big comeback on Columbus on June 28th. Written by Diane de Guzman. De Guzman, forget about it. Look at that pizza right there. Hey, we're doing pizza too. Fucking better than yours. Let's go, Flour and Water. It's friendly. Hey, it's friendly combat. You know what I mean? As a person who's opening up a restaurant that's going to serve pizza, I should be able to go over to Flour and Water and be like, hey, lick my fucking nuts. My fucking pizza's better than yours, all right? Born and fucking raised in the Northeast, all right? Let's do it, Katie. Podcast to talk about the Rustic. So I'm making fucking the food that I grew up learning how to cook. You know, it's that kind of food. It's quick, it's simple, it's delicious, righteous, bro. But anyway, here we go. More details emerge on the upcoming The Rustic in the Castro. This is an Eater. This article was written a couple days ago about the Flour and Water Pizzeria opens in North Beach on June 27th. All right, it's involved in that article. It's on the bottom. There's been some buzz about a new Cal Italian fusion restaurant headed to the former cook shop space at 215 Church Street. Hoodline first had the news that The Rustic is an up-and-coming restaurant owned by Chez Panisse alum Zoti Ali Turab. Shout out to Zoti, who worked at the Berkeley restaurant for close to 8 years. But now, Table Hopper shares, Table Hopper, shout out to you, that another high-profile chef, I didn't write this, high-profile chef is involved as well. It seems that Chef David Guigliotti of Charter Oak and the restaurant at Meadowood and podcast host of Sucio Talk will be the Rustic's chef and partner. Do you read that fucking line right there? Do you read that? Do you read that? It seems that Chef David Guigliotti of Charter Oak and restaurant at Meadowood, okay, 9 years of my fucking vida over here, and podcast host of Sucio Talk. So you see that right there? Love it. All right, lots of love for Diane de Guzman. Lots of love to Table Hopper and Hoodline for shouting out Rustic. Eater, I don't know how this works. Am I supposed to call you to shout me out, or can't you just see that I'm doing some cool shit and come over and talk to me? Because I know you know about Sucio Talk, right? It's right there. It's right there. Okay? So come talk to me, guys. You know, let's hang out. Let's have you guys on Sucio Talk. Let's do a podcast for the article. That would be dope. But you guys are like, nah, B, let's not do that. Let's wait till he actually has a restaurant. I see what's up. That's why I had to have a restaurant. I'd be like, I need credibility out here, bro. You know what I'm going to do? Open a restaurant. That'll give me some credibility to have a chef podcast. Because 20 years in the game isn't enough. It's not enough. So here we are once again. Getting all sorts of crazy over here. So opening the Rustic, we're looking to open. It's probably going to be August. I'll tell you what, it's probably going to be way after that. It's just the way things roll. And I always, worst case scenario, I always look at that way. I don't let anything let me down. But we are trying to open as soon as possible. Obviously, some permits and things like that. Some last minute details with the dining room. It's a beautiful space. And the Rustic, and it's just home. It's grandma. And it's not too grandma, you know what I'm saying? You don't walk in there and it's not all antiques and weird shit. But it's going to be an eclectic space with eclectic people and eclectic food and beautiful atmosphere and selfie spots. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to do it. Guys, it's going to be great. And as far as everything else, Sucio Talk, once again, sharing peace and love to everybody. I hope you guys are good out there. We're going to end this show early because I did a longer show last week. It's just the way it rolls. All right, you give some, you take some. That's life. I love you very much. Take care. Peace out. Sucio Talk. Look out for that restaurant. Look out for me. Shout out that Eater article. I don't think I'm allowed to yet. I don't think I'm allowed to even talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it because that's the way it is, okay? Yeah. Look out for a podcast with me and Katie Atchison from Broke Ass Stewart. A lovely, lovely publication that's going to beat out CNN and Fox one day. We're going to make fucking Broke-ass Stewart a millionaire out here. He might have his own podcast. I might be the one producing it. Who knows? 510-463-1145. Shout out the show. Call. Leave a message anytime.